Beyond the gates, Karla Mosley and bold and beautiful Lawrence St. Victor celebrate their wedding anniversary. We all know that weddings and soaps go hand in hand, and there are always going to be those favorites that will forever be remembered. On November 18th, the Beyond the Gates leading lady Karla Mosley, Danny, was alerted to one of her past characters' weddings to none other than her former the bold and the beautiful co-star Lawrence St. Victor, Carter. The popular daytime stars also appeared opposite each other on Guiding Light as Christina and Remy, and boy, talk about a wedding to remember. Apparently on this day nearly 20 years ago, Mosley posted on her official Instagram, along with an old clip that was featured on My First Soapy, Drunken Marriage, with the incomparable Lawrence St. Victor, on Guiding Light. Thanks for posting this hilarious soap opera throwback. Of their time on the Springfield soap, St. Victor jumped into the comments and recalled, "We had so much fun," to which Mosley replied, "The day we turned a soap into a multicam." Laughing about the scenes, he added, "Yup, they gave us way too much freedom." Fans couldn't get enough of seeing that blast from the past, and if you missed it or never saw it, relive the hysterical scene below when the characters first learned that they had tied the knot, and those reactions when they saw the drunken photo that proved it. Soapy goodness. Did you watch The Star on Guiding Light back in the day? If so, share your memories in the comments section. The sun had not yet risen over the quiet, tree-lined street in Studio City when Karla Mosley's phone began to buzz. She reached for it sleepily, blinking away the remnants of a dream as she tapped to open a message from Lawrence St. Victor. It was a photo, grainy but unmistakable, the two of them dressed in wedding attire from nearly a decade ago, standing beneath an arch of artificial wisteria on a soap opera set. "Lawrence, happy anniversary, wife." "Karla, you're lucky your real wife likes me." Karla laughed, rolling onto her back. Every year, without fail, he remembered. Their fictional wedding, filmed over 3 exhausting but magical days, had become an inside joke, a sentimental milestone, and a reminder of the unique world they occupied. A world where emotions were deep even when scripted, where marriages could be undone by a pen stroke, where you could fall in love with someone 3 times a year and still go home to your real spouse with no jealousy, no complications, just stories. But the bond between Karla and Lawrence? That wasn't scripted. It had been born in dressing rooms, forged in 5 a.m. call times, strengthened in years of shared looks across the set, the silent kind that said, "We got this," even when they didn't. It had been polished through the strange intimacy that only acting partners truly understood, the hours spent rehearsing confessions of love, heartbreak, betrayal, and forgiveness, the trust required to be vulnerable in front of someone who sees every tremor of your soul for take after take. Karla sat up, stretching. It was their wedding anniversary, so she knew the day wouldn't go unmarked. That afternoon, Lawrence arrived at the cafe where they had agreed to meet. He wore a crisp navy button-down and an exaggeratedly solemn expression, as though he were a husband trying desperately not to forget important dates. "You're late," Karla teased as she slid into the booth. "I had to pick up something," he replied, reaching behind him. He placed a bouquet of flowers on the table, purple ranunculus, her favorite. They weren't expensive, but they were thoughtfully chosen. "For my fake bride," he declared, bowing. She snatched the bouquet before he could stand upright. "I'll have you know I was the best fake wife you ever had." "Debatable," Lawrence countered. "I've had a few. But none like me." He grinned, conceding. The cafe bustled around them, clinking mugs, soft conversation, the smell of coffee thick in the air. But sitting across from each other, it felt almost like they were back on the soundstage, rehearsing a warm-up banter before shooting a scene. They ordered pastries, reminisced, and laughed over the absurdity of soap opera relationships. "Remember the bridge collapse storyline?" Karla said, shaking her head. "The one where my character's car dangled over the edge and you had to risk your life to save me?" Lawrence groaned. "I was supposed to look heroic, but the harness made me walk like a malfunctioning robot. People online said it looked like I was trying not to fall into a puddle." She laughed, almost choking on her lot. "And still," he added, lifting his brows, "my character saved yours. And that's why you married me." "Married for 3 whole weeks," she replied wistfully. Until the amnesia storyline hit. The writers were wild for that one, Lawrence said. They had me crying in every single episode. Hey, at least you got good memes out of it. They toasted to their 3-week union, both grinning with the kind of affection born from years of shared history. But beneath the lightness of their conversation, there was something else, an unspoken reflection, a gratitude that neither had put into words yet. After lunch, they walked to the park close by. The sun felt warm on their shoulders, and the air carried that hint of LA jasmine that always made Karla feel nostalgic for summers on set. Can I be honest? Lawrence said suddenly. She glanced sideways. Always. Every year when this date comes around, I think about how lucky we got. To be co-workers? To be friends, he clarified gently. Real friends. That doesn't always happen in this industry. Karla's expression softened. I know. Not even when you spend your life pretending to be in love. That's the weird part, he said. You do all these scenes, weddings, heartbreak, fights, but none of it means anything unless the connection is real underneath. And with you it always was. She felt her throat tighten. That goes both ways. They reached a quiet corner of the park, where a bench overlooked a small pond. Children giggled nearby as ducks waddled across the grass. Karla sat down, setting the bouquet in her lap. Lawrence joined her, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. Do you ever think about how different our lives would be if we hadn't been cast together? He asked. All the time, she admitted. You're one of the people who shaped the best years of my career. And not because of the scenes or the storylines, but because working with you was easy, natural, safe. He chuckled. Safe is good. Sexy heroic leading man safe. You're ridiculous. You love me, he said in his best soap opera smolder. As a fake husband, she emphasized. In real life, you're like a brother. Hey, a sexy brother. Stop. They burst into laughter that drew a few curious glances from nearby dogwalkers.